Well, welcome everybody, and welcome to this beautiful springtime weekend. And happy Easter to all of you who are celebrating Easter this weekend. Now let's settle in, taking time to turn inward. Come to a posture that feels full of balance and ease for you. And just notice yourself kind of settling in and taking the turn inward. The beautiful thing about coming to our yoga mats and beginning our practice together is that we start with the physical body, the actual architecture of our body. And then we move a little bit deeper into some of the energies that we can feel. So when you're ready with the physical body, let your eyelids close so that you can take that turn inward. Sometimes we describe it in this class as dropping a little pebble into a pond, letting your awareness rest at the bottom of the pond. So you're aware of things around you, but there's deep stillness. So come to that place in your posture this morning. Let your lips just gently touch together and relax the low jaw. Lift the chin slightly if you feel like you're tucking it in and kind of closing off the throat chakra. And then let all the little muscles around your eyeballs relax. Relax the centers of the palms of your hands. Relax the soles of your feet. And with all that in place, with your next inhale, let the crown of your head rise up just a little bit. And notice your breathing. Letting the breathing be soft, relaxed, and natural. So that you're feeling the body breathing. And as you come to an awareness of each cycle of breath, just notice how the inhale lifts and opens you slightly. Completely exhale, and when you're ready, just notice the slight lift. In yoga, we call this inner body bright, this vibration of lifting and opening towards the sun. We'll focus a bit on that today, so just become aware of it in your body. Springtime is full of that vibration of lifting towards the sun. Take another round, very aware of any lifting, opening energy you feel on your inhale. A quote from Anais Nin that you may have heard before, such a beautiful quote. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Imagine you're able to send your inhale right into the center of your heart and allow that lifting and opening to occur in the heart, opening up. And yogis, with your next inhale, softly open your eyes up into your room. And I'd like you to just from your posture, cast your gaze downward. Find a little speck to keep your gaze on down at your mat in front of you. And take a very slow cleansing breath here. And just notice how that feels. Keeping your drishti soft, your drishti is your gaze. Lift up and look up, maybe at your ceiling or at the top of one of your walls. Find a little spot there to cast your gaze. And take a full round of breath here and just notice the slight shift in energy from lifting up the gaze. And then come gently to looking straight ahead. Inhale your hands palm to palm in Anjali Mudra. And once again, close your eyes. Notice rooting down energy, that heaviness, that connecting. And then notice inhaling that rising energy, that lifting and opening. Take a moment to set your intention for your practice this morning. What is it you would like to shine the light of your awareness on? Acknowledge it to yourself and repeat it to yourself. When you feel complete with your thought, take your hands down, open your eyes, and take one more soft cleansing breath, just allowing for the full flavor of lifting and opening to be present in your body. It's always there, but it's a matter of noticing. What I'd like you to do from here is stay seated, or if you've been lying down, come to seated. And you're going to twist to your right by taking your left hand to your outer right knee and swing your right arm around behind you and just give a little twist, turning your chin towards your back shoulder. Feel yourself breathing. Come back to center and pause. Perhaps bring to mind your intention once again. And then when you're ready, bring your right hand to your outer left knee and swing your left hand behind you, lifting up through the crown of your head and pivoting your chin towards your back shoulder. Take a nice, deep, cleansing breath there, allowing for full expression of length in your spine. And back to center. From here, place your right hand down, swing your left arm over, bending your elbow as needed, lifting your gaze. And other side, sweep over, lift the gaze, and come back to center and release. We're going to come onto all fours for cat and cow. So have your props handy for yourself. Placing your hands beneath your shoulders, spreading your fingers wide like rays of sunshine, tucking your toes under. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the crown of the head. Exhale, come into cat pose, rounding the spine, tucking the chin. This is a great time to close your eyes and really sync body movement with breathing. So you're going to try, after a couple of rounds, to really let your inhale and your exhale guide your body. Just like we're guided towards the sun, right? Even the little plants these days are guided towards the sun as they germinate. So let your body be guided by the breath. Take one more round here, linking the breathing to body movement, letting the breathing guide you. And then come on up and sit back at your heels. tucking your toes beneath you. I know that's the soles of the feet can be super tight, so just try it. If you need to flip your feet down and sit on the tops of your feet, go ahead, that's all right. Inhale, lift, pivoting your palms skyward, draw your arm bones back, and then as you exhale, relax the shoulders, placing the backs of the hands on the crown of the head. Lift your gaze again. Relax the jaw, relax the shoulder blades, and then place your hands down beneath your shoulders once more and take your knees underneath your hips. Now bring your left foot out like a kickstand and then step it up in alignment with your feet. And as you inhale, swing this left arm up, opening to the sun and that big spring blue sky, these bluebird days that we love to get here in Maine. And everywhere, really, right? Everywhere. Everybody loves a bluebird day. As you exhale, take your hand behind this right wrist for thread the needle. Bring your right arm out. Place the left side of your skull on a block or on your mat. And then if this is enough stretch for you right here, which it could very well be, stay here, or pull your chin towards your right armpit. Then you'll get a little deeper stretch at the back of the neck. Draw the right hand in for support. Swing your left arm open again to a beautiful bluebird day. Maybe be aware of having your forehead just a bit above the chin. And then come down. We're going to do that on the other side. So get arranged here. And then right leg out like a kickstand. Step it up in alignment with your hands. And bring your right arm straight up. Hold it there as you allow this twisting and opening towards the sun. And then as you exhale, dive deep with awareness, right? You're having an awareness of what's going on. You know if you need a block under your skull or if it feels good to stretch towards your mat. And then if you want to deepen the stretch, you simply take your chin over towards your left armpit. And then come on up. Make your left hand a pedestal for you so you can once more lift your right arm and open towards the sky, the vast, limitless sky. And release. Here we go, yogis, coming into downward facing dog. So stretch long into plank as you go. Maybe take a breath or two, getting long in the body, getting strong by pulling that abdominal core up towards the spine, and then lift in to downward facing dog. Stretch your arms long, lift the backs of your hips towards your ceiling and let your heels descend. Let go through the head and neck, allowing the spine to uncoil and work with gravity here. Take a nice deep cleansing breath. And then bend your knees, look at the center of your mat and step up to the center of your mat and walk your hands back. Take your hands to your hips and come on up to standing. Place your feet comfortably beneath you and allow the feet to point straight forward. Inhale, lift up, grab the left wrist, go to the right. Just give a little tug. As your right hand wraps around your left wrist, gently tug. Not a lot of energy put into that, just a gentle tug, right? Just think of all those little seeds germinating, and there's this gentle tug energy in the seed that makes it grow. Come back to center, helps it break open in the husk. Helps that little tap root come out. Inhale, lift up. Take a hold of your right wrist. Peel yourself to the left, maybe pulling your arm bones back and lifting your drishti. And release. Go nice and slow here, yogis. Roll the shoulders, roll the shoulders. Now inhale, lift. Exhale, deep bow. Inhale, lift up halfway, big wingspan. Exhale, bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing up. Exhale, come to your heart center. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we dive deep together. Inhale, lift up halfway and expand. Exhale, deep bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing up, and exhale to your heart center. Pause here, rooting down and rising up. Let your eyelids close. Feel your breathing. As you inhale, allow a full expression of lift in the heart, the lungs, the crown of the head. And as you exhale, open your eyes. Let your hands come down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend your knees, step back into plank pose. Inhale and plank with your knees up or down. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lift up into Bhujangasana. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a nice deep cleansing breath here. If you feel like pedaling a little bit, go ahead. Inhale into plank, knees can be down. Exhale to slowly lower. Inhale, sweep up, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, little movement might be nice, some stillness. Notice what your body would like to do and do that. And then inhale into plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift up, Bhujangasana pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your feet nice and close together, letting the head hang between the biceps. Lift the left leg high, bend the knee, flex the ankle. As you sink your right heel down, lift your left knee high. Exhale the left leg down. Inhale the right leg up when you're ready. Get nice and long, sinking the left heel, lifting the right heel, then bend the knee, flex the ankle. And as the left heel sinks, the right knee points skyward. And release. Set the knees down here, yogis, and come on, a pad for your knees if you'd like to. We're coming into Anjaneyasana again together. So some of us like that nice cushiony for the knee joint. Now left leg is going to come out. Try taking the top of your back foot down for this one. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop the shoulders. Inhale, lift the heart and the gaze. Exhale, drop the hips low. Now take your hands to touch, steeple your fingers, lift up. Now this might be plenty, right? This is a big front body opener. If you'd like to explore shifting in this posture, simply take your arm bones back, lift your gaze, lift your drishti, pull back. And release. We're going to do the other side. So go nice and slow. Feel that whoosh of warm oxygenated blood just really rushing to the core. Really giving the hip flexors a nice big stretch. When you're ready, inhale, lift. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, lift your head and your heart. Exhale, drop your hips nice and slow. With awareness, steeple the fingers, stay right here. This is a wonderful front body opener. If you feel like exploring a big weight shift, then draw the arm bones back, lift the heart, roll the weight of your skull back, any amount. And release. Nice and slow here, yogis. Go nice and slow. Inhale, Exhale, come on out into plank. Get yourself back into this symmetrical place and lift up with the hips. Downward facing dog. Take a nice deep cleansing breath. And then move your feet to the edges of your mat. So there's a bit of a wide-legged stance here. And then begin walking your hands back towards the feet at the back of the mat. Take opposite elbow and hang heavily here. Give yourself the feeling that you're a little kid hanging over a banister. Feet on the floor, upper body draped over the banister. Capture opposite elbows. Get heavy, low towards the earth. And then release your hands, hands to hips. Come on up to standing. Take the feet comfortably beneath your hips. We're going to come into Utkatasana here, mighty powerful pose. So bring the tops of your feet to touch in a little gap between the heels. Sit down nice and low. Now a little turn of your tailbone towards the earth until you feel a band of engagement between the two hips. Pause there, lift up nice and high, keeping the shoulders relaxed. We're creating some muscle memory around how to keep relaxed in the shoulders. Sit back in the heels, take your hands to your heart center, and then pivot your left elbow over your right thigh bone and really stretch your arms open here. Inhale and exhale. Try not to scrunch in your toes. Come back to center. Step back, push on up to standing. Inhale, lift. Exhale, heart center. Coming back into Utkatasana, sitting in the heels a bit extra so the toes are released from holding our weight. Dial your tailbone towards the earth. And then swing your right elbow over your left thigh bone and open your arms nice and wide. Breathe deeply. Try not to scrunch in the toes, rooting down more in the soles of the feet than in the toes. Come back to center and press on up to standing. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, diving deep together. Inhale, lift up halfway, expanding fully. Exhale, bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Sweep on up. And exhale to your heart center. Close your eyes. Feel rooted to the earth. And then what happens when you inhale fully and create space for breathing and heart energy? Softly open your eyes and lift your gaze. Try to find that spot in your room, whether it's at your ceiling or way up high on a wall. Allowing this prana shakti to lift us up from the inside out, inner body bright. And then bring your hands down, open your eyes, and take a hold of your bricks and put them behind your mat long so that they're going to be there for you when you need them. And then, so I'm doing this a bit out of sequence. Just leave your bricks off your mat on the long edge of your mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, dive deep. Come back out into plank pose. Lift up into down dog. Now, yogis, we're going to practice something together this morning. What I'd like you to do is with your next exhale, pull your left knee up towards your sternum, and you can come partway into plank to facilitate that. But you can just kind of feel how this feels. To begin moving the hips forward, pulling the knee in, and then try it on the right side. Pick up your right leg, and then you're just going to kind of seesaw, pulling that right knee in. Okay. Now what I'd like you to do is look up at your thumbs, bend your knees, pull your left knee in, and step it up to your hands. If you don't make it all the way up, you just walk your hands back and you inchworm your back foot back so that you come into this place where hands are to either side of the arch of your front foot and your back leg is fully extended with toes turned under. And then you can come on up, hand to knee. And if that feels too wobbly, you go back down. If you want to use a brick, it's right there for your use. If you feel like adding a little movement, lift your arms, crescent lunge, also called high lunge. As you exhale, come on down, 2 hands to the mat, step back. We're going to do the other side. So start in down dog, and then look up at your thumbs, look at your right thumb, and then pull your knee in and step up. Just like the other side. If you need to walk back, fine. If you need to inchworm your back foot back to get your legs straight, that's fine too. Then you're going to dig deep, rooting down, and explore rising up. If you want to lift your arms in crescent lunge, also called high lunge, feel free. If you want to have your hands on either side of your front foot, that's fine too. Inhale deeply and fully, and then exhale completely, all the way down. Inhale in plank, exhale to lower. Inhale, lift up, Bhujangasana. Exhale into child's pose and sink back. Sink back. Forehead can come to your mat. Perch up on all 10 fingertips and slide your armpits out to the sides. And then we're coming back into plank pose together and lifting up into downward facing dog together. Look at the center point of your mat, bend your knees and hop right up to it. Walking your hands back. Take opposite elbow here and this time swing around in ragdoll. We're still giving ourselves that feeling of hanging over a banister or maybe a jungle gym right out on the playground, but we're swinging around here. Come back to center, hands to hips. Come on up to standing and bring your bricks onto your mat, setting them possibly on the high setting. And coming with a wide-legged posture. Again, we want to create openness and growth in the body, and we want to feel safe. So when we do our yoga practice consistently, we keep opening, we keep growing. And it might just be a 1/4 inch at a time, but over time, it really adds up. So let your body open, like that Anais Nin quote, like letting the bud become fully a blossom. It takes a while for that to happen, bit by bit. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale, bring the arm bones alongside the ears if that's available. See about straightening your arms, explore that. Now hug the muscles of your legs onto the bones of your legs. Feel a little lift in the heart and the rib cage. Rooting down, rising up. Cast your drishti skyward. And with your next exhale, float your arms down. And get nice and big here. Take up lots of space. And then pivot the left toes forward, bend the knee. Inchworm around your mat as needed. Inhale, lift your arms, straightening that left leg. Exhale into peaceful warrior. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, we find peacefulness. Inhale, we lift up, opening up to life. And exhale, we practice peacefulness. Back hand to back thigh. Sweep your left arm over your ear in reverse warrior. Take your favorite variation of this posture. If you like holding the wrist, do that. If you like this traditional version, notice where your drishti feels good. Does it feel good to look up at the ceiling or straight ahead? And then exhale, bring your forearm to your thigh bone, or hand to brick, or hand to inner ankle. Roll your top shoulder back. Now, before you lift this right arm, pivot so that the back foot can kind of roll into the earth a little bit. Connect there, that outer edge of the back foot. Grow a little taproot. And then as you pivot your heart and lungs towards the sky, lift your gaze and swing your arm open and right over your ear, getting super long here. Rooting down, opening up, feeling the power of each inhale, taking this life-giving air right into your lungs and letting it lift and expand you. Now press into your feet, cartwheel your way up. We're working our way into exalted warrior. Lifting, lengthening, let the solar plexus really open here. And then exhale, hands straight out from heart center. Hike the energy of your connection to the earth right up into the solar plexus. And then skim forward, gently glide to a place that doesn't feel too intense in your body, just feels like a nice opening. You might want to have your hand just below your knee joint or on a brick or on your mat or on your lower shin. Just explore what is the best for you. And then hike that energy up again. Sometimes when we get movement involved in our postures, we forget to hold on to that upward lifting prana shakti. So bring that right up here in this posture. And then bend your knee and swing on up, turning your toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take a nice slow exhale as you bow. And then inhale, lift up with big wingspan. And exhale, slowly bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing up. Exhale, bring your arms straight out from heart center or shoulders, expanding fully. Right toes point forward, bend the right knee, get the back leg long and supportive. Inhale, sweep up as you open up. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, come to peacefulness in this moment on your mat. And then back hand comes to the thigh, right arm swings over the ear. So as you know, you can take whichever variation feels good in your body. This is all an exploration, right? Finding our rootedness, finding that lifting and opening, growing energy. It's an exploration. Now, as you exhale, place your right arm where it supports you the best. Where does it support you the best? Lengthen your spine. Roll your heart open. That tiny roll of the foot so that you're lifting your inner arch in that back foot and the outer edge of the back foot is down. And then arm over, right? So these little seedlings, they grow their taproot. And once that's established, then they can sprout. So you got to find that taproot and then sprout. Take a nice big breath. Let your drishti go either towards your ceiling or the wall in front of you, expanding fully. Press down to rise up. Exalted warrior. Now lift and open towards the sun. And then exhale your arms straight out from heart center. Hike that energy of Pada Bandha up into your solar plexus and then skim forward ever so lightly and gently, not forcing anything, coming only as deep in the posture as it feels good in your body. Remember to keep the spine stretching a bit and pivoting your heart and lungs towards the sky. Gaze lifts gently, and then hand to hip. Bend your right knee, come on up to standing. Turn your toes, another sunburst together. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, dive deep toward this dense, dark, mysterious earth, the support for so many living things. Inhale, lift up, expanding fully. Exhale, bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive, swing yourself up. Exhale, come to your heart center. Close your eyes, rooting down, lifting and opening up inner body bright. Just feel the energy of growing. It's all around us. It's all in the air around us these days. It's what makes the vibration of spring so exciting. New growth. And once you have a moment to just feel that and breathe that, let your eyes open, bring your hands down, and then hop your feet together. Keep your bricks where they are because we're going to use them again, but just give yourself a twist. Relax the shoulders, twist the body, bend the knees, move the hips. Let your arms be heavy, like just heavy logs. You're swinging around. And come back to center. Isn't it good to know you can do that anytime you want? Inhale, lift. Exhale, float the arms out. Step your heels underneath your wrists unless that is too wide, coming into half moon. So we want a safe support here. Now, take your hands to your hips, dial the left toes forward, bend your knee. Get firm in your connection to the earth through your feet. And then you're going to swing your left hand down to your brick, hop it out in front of your pinky toe a ways, and you're going to rock your weight into the core of this left leg to push up. Push up. And then, if you're feeling steady, that's when you begin to open up. So we have that initial thrust upward. And then if we're ready, then we begin opening. The bud takes its time blossoming, turning into a blossom. Takes its time. Nothing needs to be rushed about it. We have our whole yoga practice ongoing to work on these poses together without making demands of ourselves. Just opening up to change and growth. Bend your standing knee, come on up, and we get to do it again on the other side. So right foot in front of your brick, toes started pointed forward. Inhale, we lift up together. And exhale, glide out together. Taking up lots of space here. Pivot the right toes forward and bend the knee. Back leg is super supportive. Take your back hand to your hip. Swing your right hand to your brick. Get ready. Maybe pivot onto the ball of that back foot. Maybe take a little crow hop in and explore pushing your weight right into the center column of your right leg. And find yourself rooting down here. And then in your own good time, explore rotating open. Nothing, no demands of the body, just exploring, feeling how it feels to move and breathe. And then bend your right knee and come on up. We're going to come into one of my favorites, monk's pose. So try sitting back in the heels, try dipping the tip of the tailbone towards the earth and lifting, right? Like a little seed in the earth. I've been growing little lupin seedlings, and it's kind of cute when they're germinating and they break open the husk of their shell. Their taproot sometimes has to search. It takes them a good 24 hours or more to get, if their root starts to grow up, it takes some time to figure out where to go to grow the root. Arms out, push the air to come on up to standing. And take a slightly wide-legged stance, just slightly. Feet just a little wider than the hips. And dive your right hand down your thigh bone as your left arm stretches over. And lift your gaze. And I think we feel like those little seedlings sometimes. We're searching to get that root rooted and supported. Oh, and then when we see, okay, there it is, then we can open up. We can grow and lift and grow new leaves and release. Now take one of your bricks, yogis, or if you're feeling like you're not real bendy today, maybe take 2 bricks and stack them, 1 or 2. And you may end up using 1, you may end up using 2, you may end up using none. Step nice and wide here. Coming into a wide-legged forward fold with a twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, swing on down. So start with your hands at your bricks, 2 bricks, or 1 brick, or no bricks. The idea here is that you find a way to feel like your spine is perpendicular over your floor. So just given we all have different proportions of our bodies, we're going to need, some of us are going to need a lot of lift, and some of us are going to need no lift. Just depends. Go with what feels right to you. And you're going to take your right hand down as a support. Take your left hand to your hip and get really long. Imagine part of your spine is made up of silly putty, and press the tailbone back, draw the crown of the head forward, and then roll open to the left side of your room and maybe lift your left arm. If when you did that, your right hip sunk down towards the earth, lift it up. Keep your head above, forehead above the chin, and then slowly come back to center. Go nice and slow, letting the body receive all that you're doing. Find that silly putty spine, stretch it long. Roll your heart and lungs open to the right side of your room. Maybe lift your right arm up nice and high, forehead above chin. If you dipped your left hip down when you did this, lift it back up. And release. Again, go nice and slow. Sit back in the heels so the toes are released from any scrunching. Hands to hips, come on up to standing. Step or hop your feet together. We're going to do 1 more sunburst. So root down, be like that little seedling. Find your way, find your rooting, your rootedness. And then from that place of support, inhale, lift and open. Exhale, deep dive. Inhale, lift and let your arms fling open. And exhale, bow. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Swing up. Exhale to your heart center. Good. Now, we're going to come into a bit of a lunge and add a little twist to it. So inhale, do this with choreography together. Exhale, back into plank pose. Inhale, lift the hips. Again, yogis, we're going to lift the left leg high, bend the knee, and step the left foot forward. And again, take your time, because if you do it and you need to inchworm your hands around the mat, and you need to inchworm your back leg back to get strong, do that. Now, test drive coming on up, rooting down and coming on up. If that feels safe to you, then bring your right elbow over your left thigh. Place your left hand on top to start. Back leg is strong and straight. And you're going to need to walk your elbow further over that thigh bone and explore opening your arms. Back leg is strong and straight. And then little cherry on top, lifting the gaze. And release. And then skateboard your leg back. Inhale. Exhale into downward facing dog. We're going to do the posture on the other side. So this time we're going to lift the right leg up high, looking at the thumb, bend the knee, and practice taking your foot up towards that thumb. knowing you can always walk your hands back. You can always do little steps to get the back foot completely stretched out behind you. And then maybe come on up, hands to knee. If this feels solid, if you've got your taproot, if your taproot found its way down, swing your left elbow over. Start by just walking that elbow over and placing your right hand on top of your left. And then open up. Big twist here. Back leg stays straight and strong, trying to prevent the chin from curling into the throat. Want to keep the throat open and the gaze lifted. And then release. Come back to plank pose. Inhale into plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift up, Bhujangasana pose. Exhale into downward facing dog. Look at the center of your mat. Bend your knees and hop to the center and walk your hands back. Take your favorite form of forward fold here, whether it's clasping opposite elbow or hands to calf muscles, whatever you like. Take a deep cleansing breath. Eventually, when the time is right for you, you're going to go back to the heels with a little extra and come on up to standing. We're going to come into a posture called, has a strange name, Garudasana. Garudasana prep. So bend your knees. Just pick a foot to balance on. We don't want a rigid knee joint. Bend it a little bit and place your opposite ankle over. And just practice being here. I find it grounding to put one hand at the base of the foot and one hand at the knee. And then once you feel solid, explore balancing by bringing hands to heart center. And come on up, we're going to do the other side. Take your time, getting that taproot, finding its way down. Find security, something to hold on to. And then once that's in place, that's when that little bud can form and slowly open. So you're getting your taproot down and you're letting your heart open. And come on up. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, heart center. Come right into Samastiti, this beautiful place of rooting down, rising up. And let your lungs fully inflate here. Give them plenty of time to fully inflate. Feel the joyfulness of the effort of a big, full, nourishing inhale. Now open your eyes and bring your hands down. We're going to take a second balance pose. And this is the posture where you can either take a hold of your knee or your big toe. You're going to root down and rise up. And again, you could be doing this with a bent knee, just simply holding onto your knee joint. Now with a bent knee or an extended leg, pivot out, opening up. Try lifting your gaze here as well. Come back to center. We're going to switch out our hands. Come across midline. And then come back to center and release. We'll do the other side. Take your time. Takes a lot of core strength. So root down and rise up slowly with intention. Our intention, that which we choose to put our focus and awareness on. Thinking about intention as we lift and open. When the time seems right to you, come back and switch your hands. Come back to center when the time seems right to you and release. Inhale, we lift up together. Exhale, fold. Come out into downward facing dog, into plank. Exhale to lower. Hug your elbows in, lift into a nice big Bhujangasana, letting the heart energy flow. Press your 10 fingertips down here with elbows in. Pull back isometrically on all 10 fingertips. And exhale onto all fours. Just put your hips back towards your heels for a moment. So we're in child's, but this time the knees are together and the feet are together. And then come on up onto all fours. Hands under shoulders. Begin making some big barrel rolls here. Moving the rib cage in these big circles. Close your eyes so you can really feel what's happening in your body, moving the prana shakti, and then reverse direction. Go to the other side. Big circles in the sky in the other direction. Come to center. Walk your knees up towards your wrists, cross at your ankles. Come on over to seated. Now place your right leg in front of you. Step your left leg across. Hike up on to the sit bones. Those curved bones at the base of the pelvis. Sit right up on those. We're coming into open twist. So press that extended heel forward. Take your left hand and cup your inner ankle. Sit up high, swing your arm behind you. So your right arm goes behind your waistband. Lift up, turn your chin. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, yogis. Let the throat be open. Let the mind be open. And then on an exhale, pivot forward. We're going to do the other side. So left heel forward, right foot steps across. Take your right hand to your inner ankle, and then you're going to take the left shoulder back. Wrap your left arm around behind your waist. Sit up tall, pivot your chin towards your back shoulder. And release. Come right down onto your front body. We're going to do some back bending from the front body, lifting up towards the sky. So come right out here onto your front body. Just check in with your low back. Make some space between your heels here. Arms come out like wings. Lift your head and your heart. Lift your hands and maybe lift your legs up and stretch nice and long. Lifting and lengthening. Find that little place to rest your gaze. Softly rest your drishti. Get long and lift. And then release and come into a counter pose. It could be child's, it could be down dog, it could be dolphin, the one where we interlace our hands and lift the hips. And then we're going to come back onto the front body. Check in with yourself again. Either you're going to do what we just did, arms out, or interlace, giving a little deeper stretch across the top of the chest. When you're ready, lift up head, heart, hands, maybe legs, get long, and just take some breaths, lifting up towards the sun. And release, choose your counter pose. dolphin or child's or downward facing dog. What would be best for your body? Check in with your low back. And then when you're ready, coming into the last back bend for this series, arms out like wings or interlaced, or bend your knees, hold onto your ankles. Take your shoulder blades toward each other to lift your head and heart. And then if you want to lift your thigh bones, go right ahead as you press your shins back. And release. Bring your knees and feet to touch. Pause. We're going to go real slowly as we come out of these deep back bends. Tops of the feet are down. Then slowly draw your hips back. Roll your head towards the earth. Place your palms open to the sky. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. And then lift the hips, rolling up to the crown of the head. Pause for a little traction in the spine. And bring your hips back down. We're going to come into a seated posture. Feet forward. This is called staff pose, Dandasana. Take your hands alongside your hips and roll your shoulders. Now, with quite a bit of effort here, push through your heels like a little seed that's breaking through its husk. Press to break that little husk of confinement. Lift up through the heart, pull the whole abdominal wall back in support of the spine. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, lift the gaze. So a lot of energy, right? This is a real yang pose. Okay, yogis. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Fold deeply into Paschimottanasana, the name of this pose. You can still press your heels forward with intention. It will also make you feel like you're bringing the backs of your knee joints towards the earth, and that usually feels really good. If it's too intense, bend your knees a little or a lot. We want to really be taking care, sending our physical body and our emotional body and our energetic body. We want to be sending the good vibe. And then gently come on up. Take a brick and put it over your head, or where your head will eventually be when we come into Shavasana. Roll back onto your body, back body. Place your hands underneath your knee joints. Head is down. Roll the nose up towards the knee, lifting your shoulder blades up off the mat. Roll your ankles in one direction and then the other. And then place the head down. Hold the outer edges of your feet and rock side to side in happy baby. Taking good care of your mind, body, spirit. Place the feet down. Touch the soles of your feet together, knees off to the sides. Lift your arms up overhead. Begin bending your elbows and let your arms be heavy on your floor. Close your eyes. This is the time when we start letting everything sink in. You may notice here, especially since you're giving your lungs a lot of room for breathing, that the inhale can be very powerful at this point in your practice. And then bring the knees up to touch. Lift your left leg straight up. Wrap your right leg around it like a snake around a branch. Glue your legs together so they don't slip and slide, and bend your knees to put your left foot down. And then you're going to take both knees that are glued together over to the right, to the left, to the left. Keeping both shoulder blades planted on your mat, knees to the left. And come back to center. Unwrap that right leg. Lift it straight up towards your ceiling. Wrap your left leg. It might just be a cross of the knees. Whatever it is for you, glue your legs together. Bend both knees working together so that you can get that right foot down and then pivot the knees to the right. Breathe deeply here. Both shoulder blades are heavy on the mat. Come back to center slowly. Unwrap, unwind. Take a full body stretch, maybe taking your heels towards the corners of your mat, stretching your fingertips long overhead. New growth. Pick up your brick if you're using one today. Bend your knees, lift your hips, slipping the brick behind the hips. Take a nice full body stretch, letting yourself open up over the brick. If you want to interlace your hands and pivot your palms back, go right ahead. Keeping your gaze, your drishti skyward. With one of your next exhales, take your hands down. Position your shoulder blades comfortably behind your rib cage. Bend your knees and lift your legs straight up towards your ceiling. Let the blood flow. Let all the fluids of the body reverse direction. Keeping the heart and lungs wide open here. Very nourishing for the body, this inversion. Really relaxing for the nervous system. Stay here just as long as you would like. Whenever the time feels right to you, you just place your feet down on your mat, lift your hips to take your brick out, and then get nice and relaxed on your mat for Shavasana. And as I said before, but I think it's worth repeating, if you want a deeper connection to yourself in Shavasana, hands on the belly, palm down. If you want to open up to the universe, palms open to the sky. Do whichever form of this seems best for your practice this morning. You're going to close your eyelids, maybe gently rock your head a bit side to side to find the right place for you to rest in Shavasana. keeping your awareness inward. Relax the jaw. Relax the inner ears. And let the brain just sit at the back of the skull for our guided meditation together.
Resting, receiving, releasing, rising, resting, receiving, releasing, rising as you breathe. The depth and ascendance of this resting, breathing, rising body, mind, spirit. Interconnected without words in the embrace of silence. Your body resting on the earth, connected, sinking and rising, solid yet permeable, breath flowing like water. As the cool air touches you, fills you, releases you, and rises into the air. Sky, the universe, and heaven as it is to you, while the warm fire of the sun and the gentle flame within your heart illuminates the rising and interconnectivity of your life in mind, body, spirit, breath, and silence. here on the earth, rooting at the base of your spine, that swirl of energy that rises to your sacrum and radiates out as we release and give and receive life, swirling to our core to be the individual with the living and learning, and rising to that place of truth where there is no hiding, the truth of your heart. As your intention rises, your intention rises and releases and connects from your heart, filling your mind, body, and spirit right to your throat, and all that vibrates there within the resonance of understanding and empathy and well-being and equanimity, and all those words that have to do with living within your intention. Your beautiful face resting, eyes so peaceful and relaxed now as the energy centers right there between your eyebrows. That inner body bright, the lighthouse in all directions, within the swirl of release and rising and receiving and resting on a beautiful Easter weekend morning, the dawning of ascendance, as you feel it and understand it within your own life and all life in all directions, moving and rising right out of that beautiful crown, top of your head, that does connect with spirit and your intention and your loving heart and your gentle practice, strong on the earth as we live together and you live this precious life, your precious life.
With your next inhale, lift your arms up overhead and take a full body stretch. Get comfortable on your mat. Keeping your awareness inward, take a moment to notice. Perhaps new space is created. It might feel physical. It might feel mental. It might feel emotional. Whatever you've opened up, just breathe into that. And then bend your knees, roll to your right, and make your way up into a closed-eyed seated position on your mat. Get rooted down, and then allow yourself, like that bud, to slowly open with your inhale. With your next inhale, bring your hands palm to palm in Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Take a moment to consider the intention you set for yourself at the beginning of your practice. Thank you so much, yogis, for joining and co-creating this beautiful springtime practice together. The light in Jelen and I shines on and honors the beautiful light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.